guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support I received in my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head on over to my channel to check it out. Well guys, I'm so happy to be with you. Welcome to November. We are just starting this lovely end of fall, entering winter sort of season. We are still in the midst of fall. It is still bright, it is still brimming, the leaves are falling off the trees. It is beautiful weather outside. I'm absolutely loving it and loving every second of this weather. It's gloomy, it's moody, and I am absolutely enjoying every single moment.
Something about autumn that resonates with me as a person.
Right, you like it. But for me, it's something more.
Last week's video was very much my vibe these days of like the gothic fantasy, like book recommendations. Like I've just absolutely been living for that and loving it so much. But today's video, as you've seen from the title, is cozy fall book recommendations. Now, there is nothing that I love more than a cozy fall book recommendation. Truly nothing at all. Like, this time of year is just so fun, so sweet, so moody. Like, there's nothing better than curling up on the couch with a tea or a hot chocolate or a warm beverage, watching the leaves fall outside as the sun sets. You put the fireplace on your TV, which is what I do. I put a little fireplace on my TV, and I sit there with my blanket and I read my book. And I am having the best time ever.
My dream date. Cute. And he knows that.
And as you guys know, I spent a majority of the past couple of months reading just like fun fiction fall-themed books. I just wanted fun fiction romance. Like, I was not looking for anything heavy, nothing super deep.
And screw light and breezy, right?
Definitely.
And today, that's what I'm bringing to you, okay? Don't get me wrong, now I do have some heavy hitters in here, okay, that will definitely cut you to the bone. But a lot of these are going to be just like fun contemporary fall books with a little bit of magic twisted in there. We've got a little bit of whimsy and magic going on in a couple of the books that I want to recommend for you. And truly, I love all of these books. They're all fantastic, all so sweet, all fun. And so if you're looking for something to spice up your fall season, whether that's with just like some fun contemporary fiction or with like a little bit of a fantasy element, these are all going to be perfect for you. And I hope you will all check them out.
Give me it! I've got fucking clinical depression.
Now, before we get into that, I want to talk about the book that I just finished reading. Guys, I am back on my fantasy grind. I know, it took me 2 months, but I am back on the fantasy grind. I'm not gonna leave, not for a minute. I'm actually having the best time ever and enjoying myself so thoroughly. And I finished Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. So, truly, I loved this book. I bawled my way through this book. Like, I was having an epic crash out beyond all crash outs. I will insert a photo of my epic crash out. Truly, like, I was so mentally unwell during the entirety of this book. I cried throughout so much of this book. It was legendary. Like,
I can't help it, Joy. I'm entering a sadness spiral.
Disgusting. He's getting tears.
Rebecca Ross is truly a master with a pen and paper. She writes these stories of such like potent whimsy and such potent longing. Truly, all of her books, I don't know what she pours into these, but like, I'm just imagining like a pitcher of water that just says yearn, yearn, yearn. She just pours yearning and longing into her books so devastatingly well that it just like, it hurts me every time I read one of her books. She like cuts me to the bone, like every time. Wild Reverence is technically a prequel to Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, her duology that came out 2 years ago, which absolutely fantastic. If you have not read it, please do. It is absolutely mind-blowing how amazing it is. But you don't have to have read that one to enjoy this book, but I will say it does help. Like, you kind of like recognize a couple of the characters from it, but like, you don't have to have read it to enjoy this one. Essentially though, you have a young goddess who is essentially, her power as goddess is herald of the gods, and she's in charge of she's tasked with like essentially taking messages between both realms. There's 2 realms in this world, and her name is Matilda, and Matilda meets a mortal boy in his dreams, and his name is Vincent. And Vincent and her connect through his dreams, and he dreams of her, and she goes on all these adventures with him in their dreams and in her childhood. So essentially, she like knows him from her childhood. Apparently, then years go by. She's not seen him in years, and suddenly she has a message that she needs to deliver to the mortal realm, and it's to Vincent. And she arrives there like after like over a decade of not seeing him, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you've changed, you've grown," and he's like, "So have you," and like they start up this alliance that they have between each other, and it's just this beautiful story between this really powerful and dynamic goddess and this like man, this mortal man who like, does he still love her after all this time? And like, does he remember her from his childhood fantasies and the things that he dreamt of her? It is just ruthless. This book is achingly beautiful. It is full of whimsy. It is full of like gorgeous godlike magic. It is full of mortal problems that are so like, they feel so small compared to the like the lives of the gods that you're reading about, and you realize how precious like life is and that mortal realm is and like how beautiful it is. I legitimately was not well while reading this. I cried through several passages of this book.
What's going on?
I can't stop. I can't stop.
Crying. She can't stop crying.
Passages upon passages, and I'm not even talking about my favorite character. My favorite character in the book is not even the two main characters. It is someone else that I don't want to get into because I don't want to spoil things. But truly, I just can't even believe how incredible this book is. So listen, if you want something to fulfill your fall season of longing and yearning, please read Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. It is truly fantastic. Absolutely loved, life-changing, totally gutted after finishing it. Phenomenal book. And now, continuing on with the trend of the year, I have been seeing nothing but phenomenal things about my girl, yes, my girl, Miss Alex E. Harrow, The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. This is continuing on with the trend of lady knights, like medieval knights. This book is about a young lady knight named Una Everlasting who is like lives on in infamy and in myths, and this man who essentially like is obsessed with her like in the future, who's like has studied her stories his whole life and essentially like time travels back and ends up meeting her and falling in love with her. So yeah, I am absolutely obsessed with The Everlasting. I'm so excited to read it. This is what I'm currently reading. I am really, really excited for this one. Everyone has been talking about how amazing this is, like how jaw-dropping this book is. I love Alex E. Harrow. I think that she is quite literally the most talented person ever, and I am so excited to read this one. So that is what I just finished reading versus what I'm currently reading. Now, getting back to cozy fall books. Again, like I said, all these books are going to have like varying levels of just like contemporary fiction versus some with some spice, some without, some that are a little bit with a fantasy element, some without, and more than, you know, some with some other things as well. So like take your pick, take your poison, take one of these for your collection and add it to your TBR list. I promise it will make your day. It will bring you such joy. Truly cannot recommend these enough. So without further ado, let's get started. The first one I want to start with is a classic contemporary, one that I absolutely adore and cannot recommend enough. I mean, and the name alone screams fall vibes. It is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. Now, Laurie Gilmore has written 5 books in the Dream Harbor series. This is the first book in the series. So listen, if you're going to start your Dream Harbor adventure of sweet contemporary Hallmark style small town romances, you might as well start with the first one, which is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This one is essentially about a young woman named Jeannie who essentially inherits this small cafe in Dream Harbor, Maine called the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And when she's there, she inherits this cafe, but she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's about to learn how to become a small business owner. And she meets a man there who's like a local farmer. His name is Logan. And Logan is very much like trying to avoid Dream Harbor gossip at all costs. Like small town is rife with it. He just like tries to avoid people. He's very much like very much like grumpy farmer vibes. And he and Jeannie like end up connecting and meeting, and essentially is Jeannie the one who's going to like break his icy exterior and get, like find his warm fuzzy side, and can Logan help her like adapt to her surroundings in a new town. So yeah, this is very sweet, very cute. This is very much like what it says. Like this is small town romance. It is short, it is sweet, it is to the point. It's very sweet. There is a little bit of spice in here, but nothing super crazy. Like honestly, it's pretty mild in my opinion. And honestly, like it's a really good time. Super cute, super sweet. To be honest, like in the rest of the Dream Harbor series just like gets better from here. Like I love this one, but the Dream Harbor series is also really fantastic. So I think you'll like all the books in the series. But this is a great place to start. It's so cozy, so fun, and of course, giving all of that warm and fuzzy pumpkin spice feeling. So I hope you guys will all go and check this one out. Next, I want to talk about my favorite contemporary fiction that I've read this year. Yes, I am saying it right now. This is my favorite contemporary fiction that I have read this year. It screams fall vibes. It has everything that you're looking for. This is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. People Watching is fan-flippin-tastic, okay? This is a story about a young woman named Prudence Welch. She's living in a small town in Canada. She is taking care of her ailing mother who has Alzheimer's and her father who is very elderly, but he runs a local grocery store in this like small kind of tourist trap sort of town. It's very much like a drive-through kind of town. It's not somewhere you stop really to stay. Enter Milo Kublikov. Milo is essentially like a nomad. He lives in his van. He travels all over the country. He's been all over the world, essentially traveling and just kind of living off the land and doing small town jobs, like odd jobs or whatever. And essentially his brother has asked him and his sister to come and visit him in this small town in Canada to help him set up a brewery that he just started. Well, Milo meets Prudence at the local grocery store and immediately he's taken with her. He is like, hey girl, like we should date. And she's like, no way. Like you're a little too advanced for me. And essentially Milo gives Prudence some lessons in chemistry and in sexually charged things.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And they end up striking up this like really sweet relationship in this small town. And the thing that I love about this book is that the thing about this book that I absolutely love is that the whole premise of it is that you don't think that love is going to like just find you like in your small town. Like you feel like you have to go somewhere, you have to seek it out in other places, but love finds Prudence here. And it is quite literally one of my favorite things that I've read this year. I find both of the characters are so charming, so fun. I loved the intimacy that was like written about in here. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was really well done. I thought it felt really realistic. This one is really spicy. I would say this is like it's a decently spicy book, but again, it's very sweet. It's very nuanced. Like there's a lot of like really gorgeous moments between Milo and Prudence in this book. And again, I absolutely was floored by this. Like I cried within the first like a couple of chapters. Like this book made me cry within the first like just couple of pages about a mother and a daughter relationship. Like this book is fantastic. And it is a perfect addition to anyone's fall TBR. I cannot recommend this enough. If you are looking for that wandering and that wanderlust and that longing sort of vibe, this book yearns, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is so flippin' good. Next, I have two books to recommend to you guys by a gorgeous author. This is where we get into a little bit of a fantasy vibe, okay? Like this is gonna have a subtle little fantasy element. We have The Very Secret Society of Witches, of Irregular Witches, and of course, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. These are both by Sangu Mandana, and they are both so flippin' cute. I feel like these both have a really good fall energy. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting these two instead of some of my other ones that I've recommended with like more like contemporary, like werewolves and vampires and that sort of thing, these ones are very much about like the cozy aspects of the English countryside and more about the like heart and the family aspects of the relationships that go on in these books. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that I think Bride by Ali Hazelwood is a great recommendation for fall because of like the spookiness of it, but that's more of like a Halloween vibe. It's more of like an October vibe. I'm recommending these more on the aspects of coziness and more of the sweetness aspect. So the first one is about a young woman named Micah Moon who is she's a witch, part of a coven, but she doesn't really practice that much. And it's until she is asked by through a letter to come and essentially teach 3 young witches that are living out in a cottage in the middle of the English countryside some of the magic and things that they should practice on their own. And so Micah comes out there. She meets the family the people that live out in this little house, and it's very sweet and very charming. Similarly, we have this one. This is a young woman named Sarah Swan. And Sarah essentially owns a magical Airbnb, and like the people who live in this Airbnb are meant to find it. And essentially it's all about like the people, like the weary travelers and the people who are meant to live in this cozy, sacred space. These are both very cute, very whimsical, very like fun and fancy, like low stakes adventures, but still really cute and really fun. And I love the magical elements. I feel like it gives it something just like a little bit more exciting than just like contemporary fiction. And I think that these are very sweet for a fall TBR. So I do recommend them. I find them very cozy, very fun to read, and just like a subtle little bit of a magical element, which I think feels very fall and whimsical. Next, we have a fall book recommendation that I've made several times for everyone to read, and I just think this is the perfect fall read for anyone. Truly such a whimsical book. Again, with a very subtle magical twist, but mostly a contemporary fiction. This is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is a very sweet romance about a young woman named Clementine who inherits her great aunt's apartment after she passes away. When she moves into this apartment, though, she finds out that her very eccentric aunt was not kidding when she said the apartment has its own quirks. The apartment has the ability to essentially like once you enter it at certain times and places, it will go back 7 years into the past. And so one day when Clementine enters her apartment, it's 7 years in the past, and she meets a young man there. And there's a young man living in her apartment, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing here? Like, what is going on? And she and this young man end up falling in love. But when she enters the apartment again after meeting him, it's 7 years back into the future where she's at. And she wonders, could she ever find this man in present time where she is now 7 years later? And so I love this one because it is like, again, it has a very subtle, like, magical thing about it, but like it's mostly about the relationship between Clementine and this like strange man and the ways that they've both changed over 7 years, especially the ways that he's changed, because obviously he hasn't seen her in 7 years. So I absolutely love this one. I think it is absolutely so sweet, so charming, so beautiful. And again, it's really interesting to see, like, you know, the differences of like how much time changes you and how much time changes a person, and like, is the person that you love still in there? And like, I love this one. I think it has all the New York Manhattan vibes. It's very much about like that kind of energy of like big city life, living in the fall season. Like, it's just beautiful. It's so fun. It's captivating. This is a great one to read. There's no spice in this. It's very closed door, very basic, and I absolutely love it. Next, I want to recommend a very full fantasy cozy book, okay? This one is absolutely teeming with all of the very like D&D type fantasy things, but very low stakes. This is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Legends and Lattes is a very, very sweet book, okay? We have a young orc woman named Viv, and Viv is a warrior who's been hunting in the lands for like decades upon decades. You know, she's done her time, she's battle weary, and she's decided that she wants to hang up her axe and essentially put on an apron and open up a coffee shop in this big city called Thune. And essentially this is the story of a woman working out a small enterprise and gonna try to make it into something like worthwhile that she can make a profit from. I really enjoy this one. This has all of the fun, like high fantasy elements, but really low stakes. This is more about the mundane problems of like, oh, we need a permit, and like, where are we going to build, and like, how are we going to build it, and like, things could go wrong and things like that. So I love the low stakes aspects of this. This is very cozy, very fun. Viv is a really great character. She's super cute, and like making friends along the way, obviously, with a bunch of other like fantastical characters that you meet. This is a very sweet one. This is a very much of like, I want to read fantasy, but I don't want anyone to die sort of situation.
Not die today, friend! Not on my watch!
So I think that this is a great one to read if you're looking for something sweet but low stakes. This feels very much part of that fall whimsy that we've been looking for in all the books I'm recommending. And this is a very cozy, fun book to read. And last but certainly not least, one of my absolute favorite books from this year. And now this also could be considered more of a winter book recommendation. I understand. I am recommending it though because of the fall, or because of the cozy vibes, okay? This book screams nostalgia, coziness, cuteness, whimsy, like just beauty in all aspects, okay? And it makes me want to be a part of something. There's nothing that I want more and long for more than to be a part of this world, and that is Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. Now, I freaked the frick out, obviously, when this book came out. This book is based off of the fourth Tinkerbell movie called Secret of the Wings. If you have seen it, please. You have to have seen the series to understand why this book is so important. But essentially, we have a young woman named Queen Clarion, and she's not queen yet. This is before her reign. She's a young like princess, or essentially a young princess learning how to become queen of all of the fairies in Pixie Hollow. Now, this book contains all of the seasons because essentially the fairy court is divided into 4 seasons. You have winter, spring, summer, and fall. And so I feel like this is a good one for fall because of all the whimsy. You do get to see some fall elements when you're in the autumn court. And essentially, Queen Clarion is still learning how to be queen, and one day there is a monster that travels in from the winter woods into the spring lands, and it's very dangerous and very scary. And Clarion is essentially trying to figure out what is going on, and she meets the guardian of the winter woods named Mallory, and Mallory essentially asks for her help. But warm season fairies can't go into the cold seasons because their wings are different, and her wings would essentially freeze if she did. But essentially he needs her help, and so they have to figure out a way for them to either like cross into each other's lands so that they can help each other and also fall in love. Mallory and Clarion build a very sweet relationship, and we find out, can our warm season fairies and our winter fairies be together? This book is full of whimsy. That is the whole book. That is the whole of this book. It is a very much like an artistic book. It's very much a poetic book. It's all about the prose of Pixie Hollow. It is very enchanting and fun, and there's this like magic in the air because they're like little fairies. Like, I just remember growing up with Tinkerbell and like loving all of the like Pixie Hollow stories, and especially this one. It stuck with me. This book broke me. If y'all remember my TikTok that I posted.
This is the meanest book ever written. This is the meanest book. This is the meanest book ever written.
This book like ruined my life. It was such a beautiful story. And I think it's a great thing to add to your cozy reading list because it has all of those nostalgic elements and all of those like twinkly little fairy elements that I think are so beautiful. This romance is very sweet and very tender. It will break your heart, and I love this book so freaking much. So I cannot recommend this one enough. Wings of Starlight, add it to your fall cozy TBR. So that is all the cozy fall book recommendations I have for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Living Literature YouTube channel. Guys, if there's any videos and things that you want to see on the channel, please feel free to comment them down below. And of course, if you have any book recommendations for me, please feel free to always comment them down below. I am so excited about all of the fun reading that we're going to have for the rest of the year. So many fun books are coming out. Brimstone by Callie Hart is coming out in, I think, 2 weeks. Cannot freaking wait for that. I have so much reading to do before the end of the year, and I hope that this helps add some fun things to your fall reading list. I love you guys the most, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!